loves, and welcome to your Jupiter in Taurus pick a card reading. This is going to be a quick reading specifically to see how you should be working with the Jupiter and Taurus energies, what you need to focus on, what you need to be aware of, how the energies will impact you, and so forth. So I'm going to give you guys some time to pick your card. Before we get started, do not forget to use a code MAMALOVE in all caps to get 44% off all of my services. I'm having a special Mother's Day sale that's running through Dominican Mother's Day, because you guys know I'm Dominican, and Dominican Mother's Day is on the 28th. So it's running from now until the 28th in celebration of my mama and all mothers around the world. So definitely make sure you take advantage of it. If you need a reading, tarot, astrology, past life, all of the things, the link to my website will be down below. With that being said, I'm going to give you guys a moment to go ahead and see which card you are gravitated towards, which pile you're gravitated towards, and then we will get started. Okay, so starting with number one. So we're gonna, this is gonna be pile for number one. Let me just move number two over here, so that way you guys can actually see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so number one, we have the Four of Cups. Okay, so definitely a lot of stuff happening emotionally. There's a lot that needs to be resolved emotionally as well. We also have the moon. So it's definitely some emotional things that need to be worked through. You might have some, things that need to be said, or you might have something happen during this time that kind of disrupts your happiness or your joy that needs to be addressed. It could be due to an underlying issue. It could also be from a past life issue. Your subconscious is tapping in spiritually to your own spirit and your own soul. And so there is a little bit of a calibration and a mirroring that's happening. So you could have, to do past life work during this period of time. So don't ignore anything that you have to work on or that comes up. There's a lot of truths coming out through the surface that's not going to necessarily feel good, but are meant to put you in a path of coming back to center and feeling good. You see how we have truth and fairness, which is Ma'at, and Nefertum, completeness. There is a cycle that's being completed, and it requires you to, really dig deeper, dive in deeper, and try to address those things, those underlying issues that have been causing such turbulence, because it's not something that at this point in time, moving forward into like what you're supposed to do, what the steps that you're supposed to take, the journey that you're supposed to be on, moving forward in that direction requires you to actually address the past first. So you are bringing into, you're coming into justice. You are also understanding, I feel like you guys need to do some past life work, and it's like a cycle. It's some illumination is being received, some understanding is being received. You might not like what it is, because that's usually happens with past life work, past life trauma that needs to be healed. You might not like what it is, but coming into understanding of that trauma and coming into understanding of what happened and why it's impacting you in this lifetime the way that it is provides a huge amount of clarity, and really helps to heal and release that from the spirit. We also have awakening dreams, okay, and we have be cautious, and this is kind of the point, right? The reason why awakening dreams is here and why the moon card is here, we know that's the card of Pisces. We know Pisces is very much rules dreams and rules over the subconscious world. Awakening dreams is really about, like, you've been trying to stay on track, you've been wanting to stay on track, you've been trying to focus on your purpose, trying to focus on your own thing. In order for you to do that, in order for you to stay in that alignment, you have to make sure that, those goals that you're trying to strive for, you make room for them in your life, that you're actively, putting yourself in a position where you're able to receive. If you still have, a whole mess in your living room, but you want a new couch, how are you supposed to fit the couch in there, right? You have to clean up the mess first, right? And so that's what we're doing. Be cautious. There's definitely, as there's a little bit of sensitivity that's going to be happening with your energies as well. So be very mindful of also how you're interpreting your dreams, because it might come off a certain way and you might not fully understand again why the messages are coming through the way they are. But the reason why they're coming through the way they are is so you can dig in deeper. So 1000%, I highly recommend a past life reading. I feel like you guys are going to need to do some past life reading in order to address some of these issues and for you to get the clarity that you're seeking, instead of misinterpreting your dreams, or even misinterpreting spiritually what you're trying to channel or trying to understand, but like the picture is not fully clear. And that's kind of the thing with Pisces energy. It's all about illusions. You might think it's one thing, but the truth is actually a whole entire kind of, that's only a little small hole into what the bigger picture is. Okay. You also have peace and tranquility, because again, you are trying to come into the state of like, this is no longer impacting me. This is no longer going to take my peace of mind. I no longer have to worry about this. This is the beauty of past life work. For those who've ever gotten a past life reading with me, you guys know that I mentioned this in every single reading. Part of past life work is like anytime there's like a specific past life that comes up in a reading that is traumatic, that needs to be healed. Part of the session is a soul heart healing session where I do a guided meditation for you and I guide you into your heart so you could heal that. We recall your power and your abilities from that lifetime so it no longer impacts you anymore. And that past life is updated in the Akashic Records, the Library of Souls, as it not impacting you anymore. So it ends up being like a very healing experience. Everybody who ever gets these sessions and we have to do these meditations together always says that they feel a lot lighter than, before when they went into the meditation, because that specific meditation, once you know the truth and once you acknowledge it within yourself, you completely release that trauma. It just completely releases and you just recall your power. So that tranquility that you're looking for requires soul work. Okay. Then we have adapt. You will get yourself where you want to be. And resilience. There's no need to rush or push. This is a time to take things as they come. You have the determinations and patience to handle what is happening. There is definitely a need to tap into the more mutable energies of that Piscean energy that's coming up. Mutable meaning changeable, going with the flow. And right now where your flow is, in order for you to move forward, it requires you to dig in a little bit deeper and for you to, actually do the work. It requires you to do the work, and it requires you to also accept what the truth is so that you can move forward. Okay, so that is your reading, my love. I hope that my number ones out there got all of the messages that you needed. Definitely wishing you guys a beautiful Jupiter in Taurus, and I hope that you guys get to do the healing that you need to do. Okay, now we're gonna do my group twos. Okay, so okay. Starting real strong, we have the 5 of Cups. So we went from the 4 to the 5. Okay, and then we have the Lovers. The Lovers, card of Gemini. Okay, we have Anubis, Transformation, Bass, Passion, and Sobek, Union and Power. Okay, lots of stuff going on. Okay, with my group twos, there's definitely a lot of emotional healing, but it does also feel like there is a relationship healing that also needs to occur. And if it hasn't been something that you are trying to work on, is definitely something that needs to be addressed. It requires you to come back to center when it comes to your love, when it comes to the things that you enjoy, not only about life, but about love and relationships and friendships, and these moments where we get to connect with other people and spend time with other people and be in communion with other people that are just, they feed our souls, they feed our spirits, they help us to connect with others in a way that we almost think is impossible at first. Like sometimes there's times where we think, can I really love someone as much as, can someone else love me as much as I love them? Like, is that even a real thing, right? And so when we connect and we have these very, very human moments, it tends to be very intense. It tends to be very powerful. You guys, what I'm getting is that you guys have been going through a very big emotional transformation when it comes to relationships. You guys have been... For some of you, the message that's coming through, it is like a soulmate situation where you are being taught a lesson, and the union itself has it's a potency to it, but it's meant to help to transform you and put you back in that correct alignment, because there's also unfinished business there. So check to see if you do have past life things that you need to heal with that person. But there's definitely a sense of needing to, this connection is healing, this connection is transformative, this connection has also put you in a different mindset. Like you've been able to grow in a way that you haven't before. And because of the potency of this connection, it's like, it's hard to release. It's hard to think of it as anything other than how you're holding it inside. But there's also pain there. There's like unfinishedness. There's this could be a moment where it's being like you're going into two separate directions. You are also getting spiritual quests, so you're going into two separate directions. And the Gemini energy, when it comes to the lovers, it is a signifier for soulmate energy, but not all soulmates. You don't get to keep all of your soulmates. You don't get to have a relationship with all of your soulmates at once, because you have more than one soulmate, right? And so when you have unfinished business, it could be a karmic relationship as well, but when you have unfinished business with someone, or when a soulmate comes in to teach you a lesson, it can be very, very emotionally it's like an emotional upheaval. There's a lot of stuff going on internally. It can feel very chaotic. It can feel like you're trying to figure out what to do, what to say, how to think, how to process, and it can feel like a lot. And so it's important for you to take how you're feeling emotionally, but also to understand and look at how, you know, this person has changed you and shifted you spiritually, what you have learned, what you have come into understanding because of your connection and your relationship with this person. How have you grown? What are the lessons that you learned? Okay, trust in your efforts. It's a process. This whole entire connection, this whole entire relationship has been a process. And even if you wanted it to end up being one thing, it could have been the starting point of you getting to that end game, getting to that life partner, if that's what you're looking for. But you have to kind of address the other people that you have these connections to first in order for you to get to that end game. Because if you get to end game first, if you get to your life partner first, and then you meet one of these karmic partners that you have this intense connection with, it's going to make it so, you know, it causes a disruption within those relationships. So in order to honor all of those connections, you have to address what it needs to be healed first. Okay, we do have family and loyalty. Okay, and grow. All flowers must grow through dirt. Is really important that you acknowledge the amount of elevation and the, you know, how you have grown through this process. There is a sense of like feeling at home, right? Feeling at home with the family and loyalty that, you know, it just feels like it can't be anything else. It feels like a very homey energy. And again, with those connections, those karmic connections, passive connections, whether traumatic or not, whatever it is or not, when they're karmic connections, they can feel like you recognize their spirit. So there is a part of that connection, even though it could have been rooted in a lot of issues or trauma or something, that it feels still at home. It still feels like, oh, I can kind of trust you. I can, you know, I can talk to you about certain things. I feel like I can, you know, tell you anything. It can feel like that comfort as well. So you have to navigate the grounding that you're trying to build on something that's meant to be a lesson. You also have amble with contentment. Waiting rather than acting is going to be the most advantageous now. It's definitely really important for you to, again, you are also coming back to center. This Jupiter in Taurus energy is going to make you come back into not only your own pleasure, but when it comes to love, your definition of love, how you connect with others, how you ground yourself with others, but specifically how you ground yourself with others that are not necessarily meant to be more than a lesson in your life, and that are ultimately the power within the connection, understanding these deeper connections, not to block yourself from the love that you deserve in the future, but to open yourself up to, you know, understanding and getting through these lessons so that you get to endgame. Okay, if endgame is what you're looking for, part of your spiritual healing is moving through and addressing all of these other relationships that you have. Okay, so that is your message, my loves. I hope that you got all of the messages that you needed for my group 2s, and we're gonna jump into my group 3s now, so they can get their messages as well. It's very important everybody gets their messages. Okay, so group 3s. So you guys got, we got 6 of Pentacles. 6 of Pentacles. We have the Devil. Okay. As a clarifier, we have Moot, being ordinary, which is a card of blessings and abundance, and Horus, stability and equilibrium. Okay, there's definitely a lot of balance going on with you guys. This Jupiter in Taurus is definitely going to be very financially beneficial. You are going to feel a lot more grounded, and you're going to feel like you have more than what you have had before. There is a sense of like growth that is happening. There's also a sense of spiritual support, and try to also make sure that you are having a sense of control within yourself, that you're not just like, oh, okay, I got a promotion, I'm just gonna blow all this money. Oh, okay, you know what, I just got X, Y, C, and B, this came through, this finally came through, I'm gonna just blow all this money. Make sure that you're also being cautious about how you are overspending. Invest in things that you that your spirit is calling you to invest in, or that you're feeling very, very drawn to invest in as well. We also have emotional protection. Try not to lose yourself too much in work. Make sure you're not ignoring your passions as well, because that's going to keep you in the correct alignment. There is a sense of that being ordinary card is very important for us to balance our physical reality. That doesn't just mean your physical like financial and the things that you possess, right? This Jupiter and Taurus is also going to help you come into your emotional space a lot, but you might feel like putting up a wall where, you know, and having a little bit of resistance to things because you want to focus more on the finances, but don't block yourself off completely. Okay, there is a sense of protection and boundaries there. So it's like there's a lot of like, you know what, I'm gonna just I'm not surprised when the Capricorn card, the Devil card came up. There's a sense of like, I'm going to just I'm just gonna kind of focus on this, and you kind of just throw yourself into work but forget about everything else. Not necessarily the healthiest way to be. It's all about control. Okay, it's all about giving and control. It's all about how you're spending that time and how much effort you're putting in. It is really important right now for you to actually put in an effort in all areas, so you can have a beautiful, powerful life. Okay, you do have joy and opportunity. Okay, make time for little things today. Opportunity. There's no use looking for luck. It arrives unexpected times. My group 3s, there's definitely going to be a lot of blessings. You guys are tapping into the physical manifestation of, you know, Jupiter being in Taurus. There's going to be a lot of financial blessings. There's going to be a lot of doors that open for you guys as well. So, you know, try to make sure you stay on, you know, your physical manifestations when you're doing spell work and stuff like that. Make sure you wear grounding crystals, tiger's eye, garnet, Capricorn, that the way that the Devil energy is coming up, the Capricorn energy is coming up. Garnet is one of the best that you can work with. Make sure you're also working with your sensuality, your sensual energies as well. Very, very important that you keep in balance with that stability and equilibrium. It's a sense of balancing everything out, not just one side. Okay, just don't just throw yourself into work just because you're getting these financial blessings. Look for blessings everywhere. Don't limit your blessings from where they can come. You also have connect to source, go within and discover what needs to be done, create a shift required to attract what you want. And leaping through the air, a plan you have made is on track. If you're waiting for something to get to work, and stop putting off ideas or projects you are considering. It's important right now to literally, if there's something, a dream that you want to do, you want to write a book, you want to start something, you want to start a business, you want to start it. This is the best time to do it. Jupiter's in Taurus. Let's go. Let's run. It's cardinal energy. Okay, it's cardinal energy. The you know, Capricorn energy is about putting in the work. Okay, but it's just don't completely. There is a sense of like looking at your emotional energy and making sure that within your emotional world, all right, that everything is okay there. And if stuff is not okay emotionally, if there's some relationship issues, if you're noticing a certain shift within, you know, your emotional energies, maybe you want to leave a relationship, or maybe you are moving in a different direction, then obviously protect yourself emotionally as you need, and do what you need to do, what feels right to you. Listen to your divine wisdom, because if you feel like you're not personally there, then you're not personally there. Honor how you're feeling, but at the same time, there's also a sense of not just throwing yourself into work and putting up these walls because you're having all of these financial blessings. So make sure there is a balance. This is why this card is here. There's a balance in the being ordinary. It's like, hey, you could have both cakes. You could have both cakes and eat both too. Okay? All right. So that is you guys' reading, my loves. I hope that the reading resonated. I hope you got all of the messages you needed. Thank you guys for wanting to get your messages for Jupiter and Taurus. I love you guys so much. Don't forget, all of my links will be down below. Check out the Patreon down below as well. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day. Bye.